Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This video contains part 2 of the pastor's fatal affair when the mistress snapped. Please see the previous video for part 1. In this video, I will discuss the end of the affair, the evidence, and 5 psychological dimensions of Latosha. The end of the affair. April 4th, 2019 began with a message that shattered Latosha's world. I think our time is up. The words glowed coldly on her phone screen, slicing through her heart. She felt discarded like trash, unable to fathom why someone who once claimed to love her would end things so abruptly. In despair, she penned a goodbye letter, bought a gun, and set out to a familiar place where she intended to end her pain. But before she could reach her destination, another message arrived. This time, it was softer, pleading, "I love you. Meet me at the lounge." Confused, but clinging to hope, she turned her car around. At the lounge, they met, and Brodus promised they would finally confront the truth. Together, they would tell his wife. He gave her the address, and she drove there, her heart pounding with anticipation and dread. When she arrived, Tabitha opened the door. They exchanged brief words before he came home. For 10 minutes, the three of them spoke. But as the conversation unfolded, she realized the truth. He was never going to leave his wife. All the promises, all the whispered declarations had been lies. Her goodbye was quiet, almost resigned. She walked towards the door, Tabitha ahead of her, him behind. Tabitha opened the door and stepped outside. As Latosha was about to follow, something inside her snapped. She turned, eyes blazing, pulled out the gun, and whispered through trembling lips, "You broke my heart." The shots rang out, echoing through the apartment. He fell to the floor, blood flowing from his body. The bullets had struck him in his head and torso. Tabitha screamed, banged on neighbors' doors, and begged for help. Then, in desperation, she returned, kneeling beside her husband, shielding him with her body. Another shot tore into her shoulder. When the police arrived, the scene was chaos. Latosha was reloading, her grief and rage consuming her. They disarmed her swiftly, and all three were rushed to the hospital. By morning, Brodus had died. Tabitha survived, scarred but alive, and Latosha, the woman who once believed in his love, was arrested. Her life forever changed by the choices of that fatal day. She was charged with first-degree murder among other charges. On November 7, 2025, she was found guilty of second-degree murder. The situation left the church community in shock. A respected pastor, a devastated spouse, and a woman whose love had transformed into desperation and tragedy. I will now look at the evidence. In this case, the evidence is straightforward. Police found Latosha at the scene, reloading the gun, and she admitted to the shooting. Tabitha also identified her as the person who committed the crime. Now I will look at 5 psychological dimensions of Latosha. 1. Mental health challenges. She shared that she has struggled with depression and past suicidal thoughts. People living with depression often experience deep feelings of hopelessness, low self-esteem, and difficulty managing strong emotions. Research shows that rejection or betrayal can heighten these emotional struggles, which may have played a role in what happened. Number 2, attachment and emotional dependence. Latosha became emotionally dependent on Brodus. When he refused to leave his wife, It may have triggered intense feelings of abandonment, hurt, and despair, making the situation feel overwhelming for her. Number 3, cognitive distortions. Latasha described feeling that Broaddus used her without recognizing her own participation in the relationship. This kind of distorted thinking can intensify emotional instability and make harmful choices feel justified. In her mind, believing she was wronged may have led her to view extreme actions as acceptable. Number 4, history of trauma. Studies show that women who commit acts of violence in relationships often have histories of childhood trauma, such as abuse or exposure to domestic violence. These early experiences can affect how a person forms relationships and responds emotionally in adulthood. Latasha experienced domestic violence as a child, which may have influenced her reactions and coping skills. Number 5, feelings of possessiveness and loss of control. The act of violence may have been a desperate attempt to regain control in a situation where she felt powerless, especially if she believed he was manipulating her emotionally. The pastor's fatal affair became a cautionary tale about emotional manipulation and infidelity. What do you think? Please share your views in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this content, kindly like, share, and subscribe. Take care of your emotional and mental health. See you in the next.